Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Woohoo! Hello, everyone. We've missed you. I hope you've had a fabulous summer so far.
Yeah. Let me just check. We're checking something on YouTube real quick. But if you feel free to start talking if you want.
Awesome. How is everyone doing? We're really excited about our topic today. We're talking about manifesting in business and specifically with a twist, like using your live stream to manifest your vision. And I know that's kind of weird. I don't, it's like, how do I use my live stream to manifest in my business? So we're gonna dive into some juicy, fun stuff today. Really excited to do that with you while I sip on my very green matcha.
I love it. Yeah. So this is such a nice focus, as we're like starting back to school, right? With if you're a parent and like we're towards the end of summer, can you believe that summer is almost over? I was like, no. And maybe you're starting to get back into the swing of things, and maybe you have even tried starting your weekly signature show in the past, or you're planning to start one, this coming season. So I think this is such a great topic for those of you if you're planning to do any of those.
Yeah,
And if you have done a signature show in the past, like this would be a great session to tune into so that you can kind of troubleshoot where you could improve because there's always room for improvement, right?
100%. And I think that so many people love the idea of being more visible, and they know that they need to be more visible in order to, get their message out, to help more people out. And doing a live stream is like, I could totally do that. It looks so easy, and it is easy. And it's one of those things that's like, oh, in your soul and your heart, you know that you are meant to be that visible, that you are meant to be fully self-expressed and sharing your ideas and your wisdom and your skills. But then somewhere along the path from wanting to do it to actually doing it or doing it consistently or doing it, first doing it, then becoming consistent, and then really jumping into like the sweet spot of it and knowing how to actually use it to help you gain leads and followers and people to just join your community, right? That's a whole nother ball game. And dare I say, is part of the manifestation process. Now, and I'm a manifestation junkie, but it's actually a really interesting tool to use and to consider while if you are someone who likes to intentionally create your reality.
Yeah, totally. And I think that the fact that we're applying it to live streams, especially on video, like video in general, right? Like we're talking today about how to leverage your energy and your presence in your live stream to really attract your ideal audience, achieve the vision that you want to have for your life, right? To manifest that.
Yeah.
And I think this is such a good segue to get this thing started. So um you talk about manifesting, and we're gonna do a sprint with our VIPs next month as far as like manifesting in business. But I think this is something that we haven't actually talked about in terms of the signature show and how
Yep.
important this is, right?
Mhm.
Because when we already know that doing a signature show, showing up consistently in front of your audience is the right action to take,
Right.
right? For your marketing. But what if you're not using your energy in the right way and you don't know how to be there and deliver your message in the right way, you might even be showing up with the right message, right? But if you're not showing up with the right energy, how is that affecting, how
That's
you
good.
show up, right?
Yeah,
So this I'm gonna ask you some questions. So we're gonna kind of change the format here a little bit.
sure.
So tell me what is going on when you are taking the right action. Like you're consistent, this is the thing that you want to do to increase your visibility, to show up in your audience life consistently. But what happens when you're showing up consistently, but the reality is that you're not getting the response that you want from your audience? What do you think is happening there?
I think several different things are happening there, but if we're talking about like energetics and that today, the very first thing that I would ask you to ask yourself is, are you going live, doing your live stream, like being visible, doing those things, right? In this case, a live stream, just to do the thing? Or is that actually part of a larger vision? So one of the biggest mistakes I see is we just kind of we're told by some guru or coach, whatever, do this strategy, do this thing, and you kind of do, you just go along and you do it, but you never actually take the time to step back and be the observer of the entire movie, the entire strategy. Where does that feel good to you or not? Where do you really see yourself? Are you capable of zooming out and seeing yourself succeed at this thing? And not just developing the vision, like the meta vision, but also like, are you connected to that vision? Are you connected emotionally to what you have decided? So this is the difference between doing something just to do it and then doing something with intention. So when you do something just to do it, it's just kind of like it's like an empty egg, right? It's got no energy. It's just, it lacks that substance.
Mhm.
But and yeah, you can be saying the right things and you might captivate a couple people, you know, that's all possible, of course. But ultimately, it's not sustainable because you haven't truly connected with what you're doing on an energetic level. Did I go off on a tangent?
No, 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 it's perfect actually. I think it's actually right on point. Because most of the time, if we are just following a strategy, and like you said, if we're not connected to the why of that strategy, and if we're not seeing how is it going to lead to this and to the next step and to the next step, and you're not connected to that vision, it's gonna feel like you're just going through the motions. And
And
like you said,
scary.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to
And the
feel like,
power,
go ahead.
yeah, and the power of video, from my point of view, is that you can, what's the word I'm looking for? You can like emanate your presence on video. Like you can probably feel our energy right now, right, as you're watching this, right? But we know for a fact that this is something that um is attached to our bigger vision, and
Mhm.
that's why we want to show up here in the community every single week. Well, maybe not so much in the summer, but as much as possible, so that you can connect with us, and then you can feel our energy through the videos that we do as well, right? So I think that you're right on point with that. what if like when they're doing the live stream and they're, like I said, they've been doing it consistently. They don't feel like they're getting any traction, in like growing their audience, or they're not getting the kind of response that they're looking from their audience. What do you think is going on there?
Well, like I said, the first thing is like, have you actually stepped out and seen yourself intentionally what you're doing? Or are you just going, kind of blind into it? Because if you are going blind into it, then that's going to increase your fear level, which is normal. Like, nobody wants to get seen by their ex, their high school boyfriend or girlfriend. You know what I mean? Or maybe you do. I don't know. Um, but that increases your fear. It also increases the imposter syndrome. So in essence, it's your energy. Like when you think of the frequency of fear and you think of the frequency of imposter syndrome, they are very different than the frequency of confidence and the frequency of being bold and feeling centered and feeling empowered and passionate. That's what attracts people. That's what makes you magnetic. That's what makes you really attract the people that you're meant to work with. So when things are not working out for you, when you're just kind of doing them because someone said so, it's not that that's wrong. This isn't my world is not about right or wrong. It's about testing, right? It's about
Yeah.
getting better 1% every single day. And you being brave enough to at least go live, even if you're scared, is a big, huge check mark in my world, So that's great that you're doing that. Now is the opportunity for you to act. Now that you know what it feels like, now is the opportunity to take a step back and actually become really, truly intentional with who you want to become. So it's not just about doing this live stream. It's about who is doing the live stream. Is it the imposter, or is it the new next level version of you? So that's really hard. I mean, it sounds so pretty, right, to say it, but to
Yeah.
actually do the inner work of stepping into that next level version of yourself, that identity, that influential magnetic leader, visible leader is very different than where we most of us start in the 3D world. So if you're struggling, congratulations. I'm so happy that you are taking some action. That's fantastic. Now it's just the next level, the next step, your next identity.
So what are some tips, or maybe a couple, one or two tips that you can share to them? Like, let's say specifically right before they either go live or like plan out their live stream topics for the month. For example, like we teach our VIPs to plan out, 4 topics for the month, and get it done in like an hour a month, right?
Right.
So what are some things that they can do to make sure that they are coming from that energy of that empowered version
I
of
mean,
them,
like
that next
tools,
level
like
version?
little tips and
Yeah,
that you
little
can
tips for
do.
practices maybe that you found that has worked for you.
Yeah. Um, sure. First of all, my philosophy is that you want to be prepared and you want to plan ahead. And preparation and planning can sometimes feel so masculine to someone who likes to be in flow with the feminine energy of creativity,
Yeah.
right? And that's one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of spiritual, heart-centered entrepreneurs struggle so much, is because we have this notion of I'm going to follow my heart and my flow today, you know? So we always say, you want to, yes, you want to stay in flow, but you want to get it done. So, which really is just the balance between the masculine and the feminine. So I really do value preparation and planning, which is why I love you. And I really do value the level of creativity. I mean, you and I are like the perfect example of this, right? Like
Yeah.
you organize the heck out of us, and then we have a plan, we have a game plan, we're prepared, which makes us feel confident when we show up. But what usually happens when we show up?
Usually we just like kind of like go with the flow.
We go off script.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're in the flow of things because
Yeah.
you've allowed for that. But the preparation and the planning, that really just helped settle your ego. It helped settle and make you feel prepared. And it started to engage in your mind, in your, I think it's the frontal lobe, that once it has a question, right? Like it goes out, it goes seeks the answer and the details to that, which is the same thing as an outline. Like when we, coach our clients when they're launching their signature shows, it's like, okay, you have to have an outline, right? That outline is literally preparation. It doesn't mean that you're going to follow it step by to the T. If you do, it's going to be very hard and it's going to not be fun for you.
Yeah, and you're probably gonna sound like a robot or something.
Your energy's gonna show, and it's gonna show through your voice. It's gonna show through your eyes. Nobody's, I don't know. Maybe newscasters do, but normal people, we're not just we don't just stand still, never use our hands and just like, we don't do that. You want to act, like you want to have a show where you feel like you are talking to your best friends.
Yeah,
You're gossiping almost. And I
yeah,
mean,
for sure.
gossip is bad. Don't do bad gossip. But you know what I mean. So that's first and foremost, like I truly believe in having that balance of the masculine and the feminine, and letting them both, dance and make lots of beautiful babies like your live stream.
Yeah.
And
I
then
really go ahead. Continue.
oh, the other thing I was going to say, I do little tangible things like my office is a sanctuary, literally. I mean, you've been here. I burn sage in there. I pray in there. I do my rituals in there. I do all kinds of things that you would naturally do in a temple or sanctuary. Like that is my safe space. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that you have to have an office that's like whatever. My safe space used to be my kitchen table. Like that's what it was, but it's not necessarily the space that you're in, it's the space that you create
Yeah. The
intention,
environment.
the environment. And
Yeah.
not just environment, because like, there's environment, but environment meaning the intentional energies that are inside of that environment.
Yes. Yes.
So I do that with all of those things, but I also do that by before I go on a live stream, I say a simple prayer, and I'm like, my to my higher self, to whoever is meaningful to you. That's the key. It has to be an entity that is so meaningful to you, right? That you feel like you have a relationship with. And then you communicate that original vision that we talked about.
Hmm.
Hey, I really want to step deeper into this vision, and today is a great opportunity. And whatever prayer is your prayer about what you want to create, that's what you do. And it does absolutely change the energy of how you deliver things, and the stuff that starts flowing through you.
Yeah, I totally, totally agree to that and have experienced that myself for
Yeah,
sure.
of course.
So, I mean, for those of you that maybe this is the first time that you've heard Mariel talk about that, I would recommend like to watch this again, that section again, because there's so much in that you could have missed if you were like if you're watching this like you're washing dishes or you're cooking or whatever, it will be that will be really, really helpful the next time that you go live or the next time you sit down to plan your signature show topics for the month, right? So I want to make a comment on the preparation aspect because it really does contribute to that confident energy and that intention, right? And yes, you're preparing the outline, you're preparing the topic, you're preparing your talking points, but you're also preparing your energy, and you're also asking for support based on what you just talked about, right? And the thing that I really like about, especially you talked about this in the binge worthy content, which is like an addition to your signature show. If you don't have it, we've really recently upgraded it. But um, when you do that preparation with your outline, you're able to now turn that content, that one weekly content, into multiple reels.
Yeah.
Then that can be like literally your content for the rest of the week, or maybe even a couple of weeks. So like you're able to leverage your live stream to be able to consistently show up in your audience's lives, even though you're only showing up live once a week, So I love that aspect of like being able to do one thing and then be able to distribute it to multiple platforms so that you can get more exposure and basically give your content more legs, right? So I love that. And then the other thing is, you talk about newscasters. Like, I mean, how much schooling and practice did they have? Right? So it's not that you want to have a script, but like Marielle said, you want to have an outline, but you talk about practice in Bold, Brave, and Brilliant Academy, right? And how that's so important because not only, I'm a former fitness coach, and I'm like repetition, right? In like doing certain exercises, brings that kind of like habitual, um the basically just brings on the habits that you want to have in your life, right? So when it comes to doing it consistently in the right way from the right energy, you're ultimately practicing it with consistency. And I believe that with the combination of what you just said and the preparation and practice, it's going to build on to each other to where, before you know it, you're gathering these groups of people, your audience, that are like, I can't wait to watch your next live, or if I'm still working, I can't wait to watch the replay because you're going to send it to me via email or whatever.
Oh, those silent watchers.
Yeah.
Silent watchers, people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how often do we get people
All
that
the
message
time.
like, I've been watching you for.
That's actually really, really interesting and talk point here. We get those a lot. Like
Yeah.
people who have, and listen, I've never been the girl who wants to be famous. Like that's just not my thing. Like, sure, if it happens, it happens. Great. But it's that piece. So the reason I say that is because it wasn't my intention to, I want to build a massive following. That was just not my intention. My intention from the beginning was like, I need to pay my mortgage. I need to
Yeah.
pay, I need, and maybe that's thinking small, but it was like, I need to make this a real gig, right? And so from the very beginning, and I've been doing my live streams for years now, from the very beginning, I wanted to do my live stream in front of where my people were. And a lot of that was inside of our Facebook group, right? Because they had already purchased something from me and now they were in there. So that just felt like getting the most bang for my buck. Why am I talking about this?
We're talking about the silent watchers.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And so, but sometimes my live stream would go live in other platforms depending on what I was testing at the time, like multi-streaming and stuff. And I can't imagine, like we've had so many people reach out to us and clients. Oh, I was watching you on YouTube. Oh, I saw your live stream on, whatever it was at the
Or I
time.
heard you in a podcast.
Yeah, or in a podcast or whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's such a cool feeling that to know that there's I don't know everyone that's watching me, I don't know. Like there's all these silent watchers, and I'm a huge silent watcher myself sometimes. Like I just watch things while I'm doing the dishes or cooking or just listening to it. But that stays. And I never comment or like or anything. I just move on. And I have a feeling that that's most people. So
Yeah,
do not discount and think that success equals likes or comments because it's not true.
yeah,
You know? It just isn't. So what I do recommend is getting in close, getting doing your live stream wherever you have the closest proximity to your people. If that's your Facebook page, that's where it is. If that's your Facebook group, that's where it is. And also it could be where you are most active on social media that you like to be active in. If you're an Instagram girl, do it on Instagram because your energy is in it. That's
yeah,
where, you like posting and sharing pictures of your dogs and things like that. Um, you're gonna build that connection.
yeah, for sure. Because that's a common question that we get. Is like, where do I go live? I mean, right
There,
now,
there's a lot. I mean, listen, I just gave you a tiny little nugget on that, but it really is different for everyone.
yeah, it
Just
is.
know that.
Yeah. So like right now, for example, you mentioned testing. We're going live in the Facebook group and we're also live on YouTube. Uh,
Woohoo! I can't wait. Maybe
so
I will build a big YouTube channel.
yeah. So like because I know with video, like I mean, we want to also be able to capitalize on the organic audiences on YouTube, right? Because especially if your live stream is long form content, like most of our live streams are at least, 20, 30, 40 minutes, then most people in our audience will be able to watch it on YouTube, and it happens to be easily accessible there. You
Yeah.
know, um, you can play in the background if you're doing something. It's just very easy, or while you're working out, like I typically do. I listen to podcasts when I'm working out. Okay, so I I thought of something. Okay, so you mentioned about silent watchers. So I believe that even though silent watchers will not comment or will not engage,
Right.
right? I believe that silent watchers, if you put a carrot in front of them, like a content upgrade or a freebie of some sort, based on the topic that you're talking about in your signature show, which is what we talk about in front row access with our VIPs, that those silent watchers will be more than happy to exchange their email for whatever content upgrade you're giving during that live stream, right? And it, because it doesn't require them to like be public, right? They can, oh, it's private, I'm just gonna go into and fill this form out so I can get whatever's just given away, right?
Right.
So I think that's such a in alignment with silent watchers, because then it allows them to still take action but not publicly.
Yes, that's so, so true. Which is why, inside of the Solidified VIP program or membership, that's why we help them set up the sales loop number one, right? Like
Yeah,
it's because you need a way of getting people to onto your email list from off of social media. And the
yeah,
easiest way to do that is to First of all, you need to be talking about things that they really care about listening, right?
Yes.
Things that like that is important. The topic is important, the way you deliver it is important, but also like how do you get them to come to your party? Right? How do you get them to how do you send them that invitation? Well, you give them something that they really want. Not not like a random meditation, not a random thing that's in sitting there collecting digital dust
Yeah.
in your digital library. It needs to be an intentional. Again, we go back to the whole idea of being intentional with what you are creating. And yeah,
And with the
that link,
energy.
your energy, but that link, having that link to send them to, those silent watchers take action.
Yeah.
They necessarily don't want to be seen or, whatever, but they take action. So
Yes.
that's how
And
you
and and the nice benefit to that is that you're also building your email list. You're taking them off of whatever social media platform that you're going live into your email list, where now you actually own that asset and you're not having to pay for an ad, just to show up in that person's news feed anymore, because now they opt in. And there's so much value in building your email list.
your
It's
email
literally,
list is your business. That's
yes,
your business.
yeah, totally. Yeah, like I think the studies now say that it's like $7 a lead on your email list. Like that's the value of a lead to your business. All obviously that depends on, like, how much your packages are and your services are and stuff. But on average, each lead is worth $7. I want to kind of just talk about, I know we can probably end this soon, but I want to talk about a story. I think this is while you were on vacation during our Goddess Circle. Stacy, one of our VIPs, we saw her, asking questions in the group about like this funnel that she's setting out for her summit, and talk about energy. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because of the energy shift in her, and so she asked us to support her in that project. And it's just, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna like give it all to you. I'm gonna ask for support. And so when she did, that same day, actually same night, so she had a call with you. She decided, okay, we're gonna like I'm gonna give this all to you guys, and I'm gonna get the support that I need, right? Because she realized that the energy that she was embodying at that point, when she was trying to do the things that she's not the best at, was not like the goddess, the
Mhm.
empowered goddess that she knows she is.
That is so true. Yes.
And so when she made that shift, her energy shifted as well. And so that night, she went to bed, and then she got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. And normally she doesn't check her phone, but this night she saw her phone was blinking, and so it's like, no, we're not gonna go check emails right now. But when she glanced at it, she saw Stripe notifications on her phone. So it was like a slew of clients paying their invoices. And like, for me, like, there's no coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences, right? And so I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the power that you bring, right? The energy. And so as soon as she made that shift, the universe like, okay, yep, we're gonna send you what you desire. Because now you're embodying the energy that we need so you can receive what we have to give you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share that story because sometimes it's so easy to just kind of go through the motions.
And wanting
And
to do it all yourself.
yeah, yeah, and not even stop to ask, like, okay, one, do I need help? Two, is this something that I want to do? Does this thing light me up, you know? And then three, if it isn't, you know, what can I do? It's
Yeah.
just starting to be conscious of the energy that you're embodying in that moment, right? And sometimes that's all we need, is to bring light to that shift that we need to do, or like what resistance we're carrying to whatever it is. You know, if it's going live, or like, oh my gosh, I have to do this live stream every single week, versus I get to do this and I get to show up in my audience's life, you know? So yeah, I don't know if you want to
I,
like add
I
anything to
love that story because, we started this conversation talking about identity and how one of the hardest things is because you are still in your old identity of like, I'm just a little entrepreneur trying to get my little business going, right? But then you see the opportunity to do a live stream and your soul is saying, you can be so much bigger than this, and you should and need to be a fully embodied leader out loud for people to see you, right? So that's a different identity sometimes from
Yeah.
where you are at that time. So Stacy, for example, who is doing this amazing, amazing summit, there's a lot of things that go along with the summit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving pieces and techie stuff and things that are like make my head hurt a little bit.
even
So,
even my brain hurts sometimes when I think of all
and
the
that's
things.
hard.
Yeah.
But you can't be two things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, her soul was calling her to lead out loud and be the leader, be the visible goddess that her community needs. But then it's hard to do that if you're also trying to be the admin,
Yeah.
and doing all the little things so not that it can't be done. Listen, I have done that before. I have, and it is exhausting, ladies. So I don't recommend it. I did it at the very beginning and I didn't have any help. I just did it all. I just figured out how to do it all and it was awful. Um, but I think it was very smart of her to hire our agency to take care of all of it for her.
Yeah. To recognize it, that
To
she needs.
recognize it,
Yeah.
yes. And to actually say, I believe in what I'm doing so much that I'm going to invest in it because I
Yeah.
know I have that much belief and passion in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the universe responds to that.
Totally.
It responds to passion, period. Fire.
Mhm. Yeah, fire. And she has
And
so much fire.
fire. And
Maybe not so much about tech, but about what she does.
especially also because so many of our clients are they're not necessarily they're people who are in relationship with life and not just doing their business to get more, 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 more.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
easy to live your life in that achieving mindset because you want to get the bigger house, the next car, the next thing. And that's a real thing in the 3D world. But our people are very purpose driven. So, and they're people that, yes, of course, they're making money and they're doing amazing. But the main reason that they do the thing is to serve.
Yeah,
And so they're in relationship with the whole of life instead of just being in relationship with your ego, right? Which is like the
yeah,
achieving mentality. And because they're in relationship with everything, they get the signs. They read the signs.
totally.
She checked her messages. Like the universe is communicating with you because that's what a relationship is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hope that most of them are doing that and are conscious of that, you know,
Yeah,
and not just the doing, because we all need that balance,
yeah,
right? That
yeah.
you talk about the masculine and the feminine energy.
The other
Um,
I
Go
wanted to
ahead.
say real quick
Yeah.
is I I first created your signature show system because I used to have a local business and used to do a lot of speaking engagements and networking and things like that. And I realized how powerful your presence is, the energy of being in close proximity with someone. I started doing the live stream. I created that because that's the next best thing to actually being in person with you when it comes to sharing your energy.
Yeah.
So it is that vehicle, and that's why it's so relevant to manifesting, right? Because it is a vehicle for you to share your energy if you can only step into that next level of your energy.
Yeah, for sure. Not so much the you need to be always this cheerful, like high pitch, like fast paced kind of personality. It's not about that. It's
No.
easy to say, like, just do this and be this person and be a different person. It's not about that, right? I know you talk a little bit about that in Bold Breaker Villain Academy.
Yeah, I talk a lot about that. And, I've seen people come through our program where they um they want to embody that news reporter and that completely like they set up entire rooms and backgrounds and video and like equipment and they want to create an entire script. I'm thinking of one person in specific from a while ago, and they never launch because it's so hard,
Yeah, because
you
it's
know,
not them.
because it's not really them. Like they're trying to so hard to step into that character, that perfection character, but they're stepping into the wrong character,
Yeah.
you know? And so it becomes really hard and their voice starts doing all kinds of weird things.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I think that we were talking about earlier that you're gonna do a live stream workshop for our VIPs. It's like,
Yes,
we're doing a live stream workshop. I don't I didn't know about this. So tell us
I
a little
was
bit about it.
inspired this morning. I'm like, we need to do a new one. We've done this before in the past, but what we're going to do is we're going to do inside of the Solidified VIP membership portal. Every week we get together twice a week and they have access to myself and Anna. And what I was thinking of doing is doing an actual live stream co-working session.
Mm,
So for those of you that haven't launched maybe your live stream or you're thinking about doing it or you have questions about the tech setup or how to get people from your live stream into your email list, this is really good.
yeah.
So yeah, that co-working session is for our VIPs and wherever they are in their live stream process in their show, we're going to create this space to take them to the next level. Um, so I just came up with this morning and I was so inspired by it. I was like, that I haven't done one of those and I want to do those. So I think that we're gonna have an invitation.
Yeah, totally. So that's awesome, first and foremost, that when you sent me that, I'm like, oh, okay. You basically did what you just told them to do in this live stream, where like you're moving from inspired, from your inspiration into action. And it's from, oh, it has like a specific purpose to it, right? Because most of our VIPs, they're in that process of like, yes, I want to get that registration form installed in my business so I can start building my list, right? So I think that's so good that we're doing it next week, and I'm very excited for our VIPs. And so if you're like, what are they talking about? Like, what's VIP? How can I get in there? So we're actually opening up our Solidified Diamond Club VIP. It's a $7 trial for 1 week. And so if you want to join us in that workshop, feel free to just drop the word VIP in the comments, and then it will send you the link to that trial in via message via DM. So VIP is
Pretty
the
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, so VIP is the comment that you want to drop in there. And then also, I forgot to mention this at the beginning, like if you're watching the replay, just let us know you're watching the replay in the comments as well. Or if you have questions uh, about anything that we talked about during this live video and you're watching the replay, you can always drop your questions in the comments and we will always answer them, even though it's not live anymore, right? Do you have any last final words to end this episode?
Um, I know words of wisdom. Listen, make life easy for yourself. It's so much easier to live in the positive possibilities than in the negative possibilities. And if you are curious about creating your legacy with video and starting to share your message, it's because your soul is ready for you to literally lead out loud. So
Yeah.
so connect with what intentionally with that level of your work. See yourself, zoom out, and then, work backwards. We reverse engineer a lot.
Yeah, we do.
So,
For me,
but
it's the only way.
it is the only way. And that is true for this as well. So, thank you so much for joining us today. If you're watching this live, I would highly recommend that you take advantage of that $7 trial for the whole week, because you get to go to that co-working session as well as you get to attend the Goddess Circle, which you will fall in love with. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see you guys in there.
Yes. So just drop VIP in the comments and we'll take care of you. We'll see you guys next time.